divided loyalties. Huh?
No. We are integrating India in the name of Indian Institute of Technology, Indian Management. Now you are on YouTube.
Great.
Da.
Roll.
Shini.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, sir?
मैं बढ़िया हूँ.
Allow me to, for a second, to wish each and every one of you a very good morning, and then tell you I'm Roshan. I was a teacher at IIM Lucknow. I got to know about this meet, so I thought, without checking with any one of you, taking your permission just to chip in for a while. I hope it's okay with you. KK, I'm not able to see your pic if you are
we are
on the meet.
into Facebook.
Now I'm able to see KK sir. Yes.
अरे तो कहाँ देखें? कौन है?
Hi Mukesh ji, how are you?
अरे सुषमा. कौन है बताओ? अरे कौन है? अरे रोशन.
प्रणाम प्रणाम मैम, आपको नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ. सुषमा जी आपको नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ. केके सर को तो देख पा रहा हूँ. हाँ नीचे नीचे बैठिए ना सुषमा जी. हाँ प्रणाम प्रणाम. रत्ना देखो, रत्ना कम ओवर. रत्ना बाल है ही नहीं मैम, बुढ़े हो गए. ये देखिए
नमस्ते. कैसे हैं?
ठीक है.
हाँ बस बढ़िया रहे, खुश रहे. सर ठीक है?
आप तबीयत ठीक है?
हाँ तबीयत ठीक है. और आप लोग ठीक हैं? बच्चे ठीक हैं?
நம்மளோட மருந்து அடியில இருக்குன்னு ஹேமா.
इतना अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत.
अरे मैंने इनकी इजाजत ही नहीं ली, मैं घुस गया. मैंने केकी की आवाज सुनी, मैंने कहा चलो लेट मी फाइंड आउट. हाय मुकेश जी, कैसे हैं आप? You seem to be muted or there is some voice issue, Mukesh.
How is it now?
அவசரம் இல்லப்பா நவீன்.
It's okay.
இல்ல அவசரம்.
Is that any better?
Yeah, we can
it's
hear
better.
you.
अरे विद्या.
Maybe this is better without the.
Yes, microphone. It's better. Yeah, it's better.
विद्या. अरे विजय, book launch कितने बजे करोगे?
maybe there are multiple
Yeah,
devices
yeah.
12:30 बजे
leading
करोगे?
to the echo.
Right.
तुम्हारे पास link है?
Well, Mukesh ji, I was there at IIM Lucknow. I hope you remember.
Yes, now I can recall.
Yes. I was there from 1985
Right.
till 2015, 30 years, right? In
Right,
between,
right.
I was in US for 2-3 years. I was in UK for a year or so, but I stayed put all along in IIM Lucknow for 30 years, from
Ji.
1985 to 2015. Then in 2015, I came over to Jaipur. There's a university uh, under the name J.K. Lakshpat University. I hope you remember we used to have our chairman board of governors, Mr. Harishankar Singhania, for 15 years.
Correct.
So it is their outfit, JK Cement, JK Paper, JK Tire, JK whatnot. So after having done their bit in primary, secondary education, they went into higher education in 2011.
Okay.
So I was brought in here for 2 years, then it extended to another year. Now it is 2 terms. I'm completing on 14th of April. 6 full
Okay.
years of 2 terms at JKLU.
Right. And ready for the third term.
No, because that is not on in the state government setup. Maximum one can enjoy 2 terms, maximum.
Okay.
So there are certain government regulations.
Right.
So how are you and where are you, Mukesh?
I'm kind of semi-retired now. I worked in the area of micro, small, medium enterprises all along,
Okay.
and was with United Nations for some 12 years.
Right.
Prior to that, a German foundation, and then we set up a Indian foundation, which I now handed over a couple of years to my colleague.
Okay.
And now I continue to work as a advisor to the
Advice,
organization for
yes.
some time. Yes, that keeps me busy for part of the time.
Okay. And our evergreen hero KK, busy with his, figuring out or fixing some issue with his.
Yes, he's ever young.
Yeah, evergreen, I say, And he writes in his mails, KK at 74, he has to have 174.
Right.
Now, apart from being colleagues at the institute, we got along very well with each other. Very well.
Mhm.
So we became kind of closely connected. In fact, the letter that was issued to me for the professorial position, professor communication, was issued by him when he was dean.
Right.
He may have forgotten, but how can I?
No, he doesn't forget also. He remembered even the organization where I did the internship. And
Oh my!
and also the comments that was received from the that organization.
Okay. He must have been looking after the placements at that time. Right.
Good. Shall we start?
Yes, I think we should.
Mukesh,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want to introduce Professor Diana, Subir, and one more person, and myself. We have Mr. Raja Ram from Ahmedabad 1977 batch. We also have Mr. Vijay Tole, who is not showing his face. Vijay, can you? Hello, Vijay.
He's there.
Yes, he is 1977 batch alumni of IIM Ahmedabad, and these are the people who are stalwarts in their respective field. Raja Ram and his sons His son was a student of IIM Lucknow.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very close group. Lot of Lucknow,
No, my
of Ahmedabad
my
people,
elder
lot
my
of
elder
IIT
son is
group
from
people.
ISB Hyderabad. My younger son Varun is from IIM Lucknow.
Okay, okay.
Ah. And then we are going to have one person from IIT Roorkee, 1969 batch. They're all entrepreneurs in their own right.
Wow.
And let's hope their experience works. Rana,
Yeah.
when I started this dhaba,
Ji.
because in December, when the economy was going down, somebody said government cannot provide job to everybody and we'll develop a skill.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was a talking point that, okay, bhajiya banana, samosa banana, khasta banana, yahi job create karna hai. Then it occurred to me whether even that is easy. So I thought, let me see whether I can make anything. So I learned how to make idli, how to make dhoka, how to
Okay.
make dhokla, how to make paratha. And then people say entrepreneurship. Bhuvesh, you won't believe. Today I realize what we have not taught altogether. That is on managing embryonic stage. So we
Right,
manage
sir.
only growth phase and stage. Once the product is there, pakka proven product, you just start manufacturing and selling it to feed Indian market. And that's all. And what it means to conceptualize a new product which doesn't exist, how to go about designing it, how to go about launching it, developing it. I mean, each stage requires a different set of competencies. And since the competence required for conceptualizing is different from design, and the one required for design is different from development. Because in development, toughest job I find is there's no vendor for the item that I need to sell books. There's no vendor. So do you start substituting for the vendor? So if I need one Bluetooth speaker, I go to shop, he gives no problem, but I say, I want 100. He says, sorry, I can't give even 10. So Mukesh, we are developing Bluetooth speaker ourselves.
Mm.
Because if people say, please give me course material with Bluetooth speaker, from where do I get Bluetooth speaker? So today we are in the development stage of vendor development for a speaker. Design is done. I'll show you the design, the crude design, which we can ourselves manufacture in India.
Wow.
And delivery time reduces dramatically. So when the book versions are different, delivery time reduces from 20 days to 1 hour. And absolute certainty. Because when you order and the courier boy doesn't bring the book, but declares that he has delivered, then what do? So a lot of experience I found. I think unless and until we start managing from conceptualizing product required for ourselves through our own means like vaccine, develop it and do it. I'm not condemning Western knowledge. I'm not condemning Western literature at all. I'm saying there's additional information, knowledge available, experience is available on this. We must develop literature to supplement and make it 50% cost, 50% delivery time, and thus reduce the cost of education, which for the first time IIM Act has brought. IIM Act is phenomenal in one sense. It brings out for the first time, please reduce the cost of education and make education more inclusive using IT. And this was 2017. And we started doing it only when coronavirus came, making education inclusive through IT. But reducing cost to half, how to reduce the cost of admission and education in IIMs from 20 lakhs to 10 lakhs is sent shivers in the spine. But I believe, Roshan, with respect to all concerned, it is possible to reduce the cost to 10 lakhs, if not to 2 lakhs. And today, I have some experience to say the cost of course material, my own book, which costs 450 rupees plus shipping, that means 550, can be brought down to 75 rupees, 1 hour delivery. So with these things, India can do this much. Then whom we are looking up to for model? People whom we look up to for helping us, they themselves are not able to cope with Corona. So where do we get models for ourselves? I think what Mr. Modi has said, what we all thought in 50s and 60s, to make Atmanirbhar Bharat through our own local expertise, local endowment. And that is what is the topic for today. If you want that, you must learn how to develop new product ab initio, a product which doesn't exist.
Which is just in thought play. Yeah.
Yes, not only making manufacturing hub. We don't have SIM and we become manufacturing hub of mobile. I mean, it's unimaginable. So the heart is not there. The lung is not there. Rest of the body is there. So Roshan, forgive me if at times I become a little cynical and kind of mad. But to me, it doesn't make sense if you don't know from beginning to end. I never realized the cost of course material could be brought down to 1/10. It was my wildest imagination. And today when 12:30 Vidya launches the new versions, you start believing, yes, we can carry whole day's course material in our pocket and whole PGP course material in your the small handbag that you have while traveling. You can keep the entire PGP material in the, and you don't need to keep even that, put on website and print wherever you want. So you can drastically reduce. In fact, you can bring down the cost of material, incremental cost to 0 once you have put on website. So welcome you all.
KK, I'll just take a second, not more than 10 seconds. You know, you referred to this word madness. I have seen this madness in you all along, right from my first day of IML with you. I have seen that madness coming and oozing from your thought processes and from your actions. You remember you referred very extensively on the course material, because this is what area you were talking at IIM Lucknow also when you were PGP chairman. Even in those good old days, you were saying, "Yaar, why are you making these hefty books?" That time it used to be photocopied. You were the first, you said, can you not condense these 4 pages into one so that it is readable, it is usable, and it is at the same time economical? That time we were laughing. What is he talking about? Why should we do it? Now, if that madness has worked wonders with the technology that is giving us this power to leverage on anything that we can conceive, plan, think through, ideate, come out with, there's no looking back. I wish this madness in you keeps on increasing only, not decreasing at any time. And then that will keep us and your students all alike on the same page.
Roshan, I'm happy you reminded me of that. It took just 30 years to have that 1/4.
Yes.
And it really goes in the pocket. Just
He would do this. He would do this that time also. I remember he wanted to establish international collaborations at IIM Lucknow. He was the first to move that idea. And then, that time, I'm talking about 85, 88, 89, 90 kind of thing. 1990. So he said, "Yaar, sending these letters on aerograms or, sending these letters overseas. Number one, it takes so much of time and it is so expensive. Can we find a way out?" And he found a way out where he could post That time I remember it was about 150 communications at a cost which otherwise would have taken to post 10 letters. 10 letters, right? So looking at these innovative ideas, suggestions, as and when they come to your mind, not blocking those ideas because of one disruption or the other, letting his ideas be experimented, and that has worked wonders. KK, it's fascinating to see you at this young age so live and lively with vibrant ideas and all the time keenness to keep people together and see what best we can do, whether it is Atmanirbhar Bharat or any other thing, each and every idea will work and should work. I compliment you at this young age. You always write KK at 74. I was telling Mukesh it has to be KK 174. And then, then he will have some satisfaction that I have contributed. Over to you. I'm sorry, I just barged in.
It's a really great thing to meet people whom we have been longing to meet, but physically not able to meet, and exchange words, because in Barcelona, I realized there is no second language than the language of heart. If you know each other and you have close bond, you will be able to communicate with each other even if you don't know the mother tongue of each other. Okay, welcome you all. Who is the first person? Are my dear Dr. Jain kahan hai? In the meantime, can I request Mr. Subir Sangal? Subir, can you start? I'll contact Dr. Jain, who was to start.
Okay. Okay.
Please get going.
Okay. So, hello everybody. My apology for joining a little late. I had logged in at about 10:40, but then I got an urgent call from a customer which I couldn't avoid, so I got in a little late. So I just wanted to know who is the audience of this. I mean, whom am I addressing?
You are addressing to unknown audience through YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
They are teachers for sure, because if we are able to enlighten teachers, they will enlighten hundreds of students every year, year after year. So I found, instead of trying to attack audience in the students, if I have 100 teachers in the audience, they will, for years together, each teacher will teach 100 students for 30 years. And that will make 3,000 multiplied by number of teachers. So,
okay, so the audience today is teachers.
No, not teachers.
No.
Because in Facebook, when you send to friends, you don't know who all is watching.
Right.
They may be directors, they may be deans, they may be head of department, and they may be vice chancellors.
No, apart from Subir answering your question, if I could read the profile of some of us who are in this meet as you may call panelists, I see people who have given shape to their ideas as entrepreneurs and have risen from smaller levels to the levels that they have. Apart from academics, and there are some people in the government think tank, right? There are those kind of people, right? So it is some bureaucrats are there, some think tank is there, and academics for sure at different levels are there. And then people like you are there in this. That's what it is.
Okay. So I'll take about 10 or 12 minutes, which is the time which Professor KK had said, it allotted. So a quick introduction to Eagle. Eagle is a 27-year-old company. And I always had this bug that I have to be an entrepreneur right since I was probably about 10 or 12 years old. And even when I was at IIM Lucknow, I used to think, so I had a diary where I used to write what I would do. And I remember one of the entries in my diary still reads that I want to set up a one-stop shop. Now, I never knew what a one-stop shop really meant, and a one-stop shop for what, It was just that I had a thought that I needed to be an entrepreneur. So that bug was there for a very long time. And I worked for 3 years. One was NIIT and another was a company called Pertec Computers. I worked for 3 years. And then I realized that I just couldn't be an employee. I just didn't have it in me and I had to be on my own. And that's how I got into a business. So Eagle has two basic product lines or two lines of business. One is maintenance, IT maintenance. So we are into our biggest business within IT services is third-party maintenance. So we are one of the possibly one of the largest third-party maintenance companies in India today, and we have about 1,100,000 assets under our maintenance. Okay, so that makes us one of the largest companies, and we maintain across the board IT equipment like server, storage, networking, which are in the entire enterprise space, and then end user space like laptops, desktops, printers, plotters, etc. We are also into professional services, managed services, etc. And we also sell all these IT products. That's our second line of business. Through an IT portal we have, which is our website, www.eagle.in. Okay. So after this brief introduction, I've come back to the subject, which is managing challenges of new product / service, conceptualization, design, development, launch, and scale up. Okay. The first point is conceptualization. Now, you know, when we were at the institute, most of the cases were presented in a manner that you are the MD of the company, and that company isn't doing so well. And now, what are you going to do to turn it around? So all that felt very nice. You know, it was lovely to get this feeling. You're just done your engineering, you're into an MBA course, and you know you're suddenly positioned as an MD. And what are the big things you're going to do? What leveraging you're going to do, and what are the levers you're going to turn so that this big company turns around and starts making profit. But once I got into a business, I realized I did become the MD of my company, but I was also the peon. I was also the delivery boy. I used to also give water to customers. So as an MD, you had to put on all these hats right from day one. So, that's when it hit you. You become the MD or the CEO or whatever. But the biggest challenge was that next 7 तारीख को salary का bill कैसे sign होगा? How are you going to sign the check on the 7th of next month for the employees who are working with you, right? And that, believe me, has been the constant challenge all throughout my life. It's now 27 years. Even still, the challenge is that you have to remember that your power lasts only as long as you can sign the checks. If you can't sign the checks, then you have no power over either your customers or your vendors or your employees. Okay. Now, translating this into a reality, when you talk about conceptualization, it means that the first obvious is to establish a need. You say, okay, this is my product line and this is a need. Okay. And then you say, okay, once I have the need, then I would do a market research. I do a market research and say whether this works, doesn't work, how much money am I going to make, how much cost and all that. And then I make my plan, strategy, tactics, what they teach at the institute. As an entrepreneur, the big challenge always is that you don't really have the money or the time to get into very structured kind of market research activity, right? So this is what I would advise to anybody who is becoming an entrepreneur, that one of the key things is instinct. So I'm not saying that you don't need market research, but your instinct should be very good so that in your own mind, you are kind of doing a market research, maybe an informal market research, but your instinct is so good that it kind of leads you towards the right course of action. Okay. And my sense is that to develop your instinct to a level where it leads you in the right direction, you have to have a lot of domain expertise. You have to be very good at your work. So whatever you are doing, whether in our case it is hardware AMC, somebody else might be doing a taxi business and somebody else might be doing a food business, whatever he is doing, he's got to spend some time walking the road. He's got to be, he or she's got to be very good at his work. So once that person knows anything and everything that is there in that environment, then the instinct gets developed to such a level that maybe you can take decisions which are not backed up by a very structured market research, but still you will end up making the right decisions. So this, to my mind, is the very key thing. It's all about hard work, hard work, hard work. You need to know your area where you're going to launch your business or run your business very, very well. If you don't, you may not have the luxury of turning back, because it's like a fork in the road. You took one road and then there's no turning back. And you don't really have that much money that you could employ a consultant to help you turn around or turn back or even do a relaunch or, do a turnaround. Because once you've gone the wrong way, that's it. Turning back is very difficult. So that's one of the big learnings that I've had. Mistakes are very costly. Going forward, after conceptualization, our subject talks of design, development, and launch. Okay, this in the subject are 3 separate points, but I'm just clubbing them together as a single point here. And my learning is that as an entrepreneur, your struggle for funds has become easier now because of this whole digital environment. So earlier, if you had to advertise in newspapers, it was a very costly process. Even a small ad would cost you 50,000 or 1 lakh. It was very difficult to afford. Or even, if you had to go out and do a splash in the media, it was really a very costly process. Now with digital media coming in such a way, such a big way, I think it has become easier for entrepreneurs to launch. So your cycle time of launching has reduced, and your the amount of money you have to spend is also in your control. You can get away with a campaign and spend 50,000 or 1 lakh, or you can spend 10 lakhs or 50 lakhs, whatever you want. So one of the big learnings that I have had is go digital. Just go digital. It has to be your website. It has to be ad campaign, AdWords, Amazon advertising. I read an article in New York Times, in the online New York Times. They said Amazon has become a very serious threat to Google. This is about 2-3 years ago in advertising revenue. And I just couldn't understand what that meant. This was about 3 years ago. I always thought Google was into advertising. I did some research and I figured out that you can advertise and bring all your products on the top in Amazon. And I realized such a wonderful thing it was. So digital, social media, these are the big things today which reduce your cost to a very phenomenal level. Now, to those in the audience who are teachers, I would think that a lot of effort should go into making our students and new entrepreneurs understand the importance of all of these things. So, and making videos. Maybe you should teach Canva, you should teach Filmora. Basic skills on how to make a video. These things are really very important nowadays. You want to get your message across to customers. This is the easiest and the cheapest way. And of course, influencers, the importance of influencers. If you get an influencer to back your product and he carries credibility in his segment, you can push up your business multiple times at a very small cost. I think I'm already out of time. I'll just take a couple of minutes more. The last point is scaling up. Here, as an entrepreneur, again, your challenge is once you've got success in bringing your idea out in the open and it started to work, then how do you scale up, right? I would say everything should be outsourced. Outsource as much as you can. It's a cliche, but do emulate the Uber model as best as you can. Do not get fixed costs in. Today, everybody has a lot of spare capacity and not enough business. Leverage those guys to expand your business. Okay. Outsource and partner with people. Everybody is looking for business. Everybody is struggling for business. Partner with them. That's how you increase your reach at a very small additional cost. Second, implement systems and processes. I remember everybody when I was at the institute would say processes. And at that time, I used to wonder and think, what does all this mean? Because I never knew what processes meant. But now that at Eagle, our business has scaled up, I know that systems and processes are everything. It doesn't necessarily mean you need SAP. Even if you can implement a process on Excel, it works. As long as it works and serves your purpose, do it. But do have systems and processes in place. That's the only way you can grow. Okay. And this is not about just teachers saying it. As an entrepreneur with experience on the ground, I know that if you do want to scale up, you should have these in place. And lastly, as entrepreneurs, since we are always struggling for money, I would say, look at advertisement as an investment, not as an expense. Let's say you're spending 3 lakhs a month or 5 lakhs per month. Don't say, hey, I'm spending 5 lakhs. As long as you're making 5 lakh 1 rupee, go spend that 5 lakhs because you're making at least that 1 rupee. Okay. A lot of us make the mistake. When I was at I'm Lucknow, I read in the media somewhere that Coke spends 100 crores at that time, 100 crores on advertisement. I had wondered at that time saying, hey, how foolish are these guys? They're spending 100 crores on advertisement. If they make 50 crores and this every year, and if they stop spending in advertisement, they'll make 150 crores, won't they? Why should they spend 100 crores? So I never realized that 50 crores was coming in because they were spending that 100 crores. So as an entrepreneur, this is a very important lesson to learn and remember, that don't cut down on advertisement and promotion. That's the only way you'll grow. That's the only way customers will come in. So I think I've said, I've run out of my time also. I've taken almost 14 minutes. I've run out of my time. So these were my bit on from my experiences. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
We'll take up the questions. Mukesh, we'll
Yes,
take
sir.
up the question towards the end. But just to inform and invite Subir for 4th of April, we have a topic, lies in business or business of lies, where to stop. And that
Lies is untruth. Lies.
Yeah.
L-I-S, lies in business or business of lies. That is, it is a topic on advertisement and promotion. What is our understanding of promotion and advertisement? Is telling the truth about the customer, about your product, or deceiving him. So promotion for truth is okay, but promotion for deceiving to make money is a different thing. And the next, the after comma, this sentence is where to draw the line. Because anything can be bracketed as lie. And you don't know at times.
KK, just
Ah,
one intervention.
ah.
Instead of just restricting the business of lies or lies for business, I think all these things comes under business ethics, because it is much more than advertising. So the lies.
Yes,
so,
yes.
so we can have enlarge the topic to cover business ethics rather than just advertising. That's my small suggestion.
Okay. Raja, one small thing. This whole panel discussion that we have with the people who are very badly tied in their own respective fields, I am just taking this opportunity to start a discussion, provoking people to think on certain things which are not being thought. For example, should we invest in new product development? Should we work hard? So like that, we are only. Are Vineet? You know, Vineet is chairman, president of I am Lucknow Alumni Association. And Vineet has not met the senior alumni. So Vineet, welcome. I saw Vineet's name. Vineet, show your face.
He's not on video.
Vineet,
Is also muted.
He's on mute and also not on video.
Yeah.
Hey, instructor will wake him up. So Vineet, we want you to be unmuted as well as your video on.
Camera on, yeah.
Yeah, now he is unmuted and he will also put his video on.
Morning, afternoon, everybody. Sorry, I'm struggling a little with this.
Okay. But eventually you will be overcoming that struggle and we'll see your pick as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Vijay Tole, can you introduce in just 1 minute what is your importance in IIM Ahmedabad Funda 77? Raja, I don't want you or me to eulogize that because Vijay is Vijay. Without Vijay, now there is no Anand. So Vijay is the only person who is keeping us together. And Vijay's presence today is such a fascinating thing for me. Vijay, can you come on the screen and for a minute just show your face?
You already see me.
He is very much there. Yeah.
Very much there.
It's really great, Vijay. And we are so happy that you had been, so lucky we are that you had been our batchmate and you have kept us together. And I see great power, Vijay, in the Alumni Association, experts from different fields. If they join hand to enlighten younger generation, the country is in safe hand. That is why I have been disturbing you all and at times passing very sarcastic comments also. But please do not misunderstand me. And Vijay, welcome you and hope in future discussions also you'll join us.
Thank you.
Now, whose turn is next? Lal Singh.
We have to hear.
Tavre.
Lal Singh Tavre.
Hi, Tavre.
Yes, hello, hi. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Nice seeing you
Nice
after a
seeing
long
you,
time.
Tavre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Lal Singh, could you take over?
Yeah, tell me, you want me to start my this thing?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, today's topic about new products and new technologies. I'll be just having a chit chat on this topic. What I see here is, people when they talk of new products or new technology or even business, they think in a structured way. When I was in IIM, I had already decided that ultimately I'll be an entrepreneur. But I didn't want to go the way the other entrepreneurs go. For example, raising funds, having equity, having partners, and things like that. So I kept on working till I had enough money to quit a job. I worked till the year 1999, and that I was about 48 years old. So I worked for 48 years old till I became 48 years old, and I collected money, to start my business. For example, I bought a small plot where I could make my factory. Then I had a little saving, and then I just left my job. And I didn't start a business to make big money. I didn't want to become something like Ambani or this thing. I just wanted to someone. I didn't want to become a Tendulkar of cricket. I just wanted to play cricket. So similarly, I just wanted to do business. So, so I, when I was, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear
yeah.
me? So I started business just because I wanted to start a business. I didn't want to become a big businessman or something like that. And what I did during these 48 years is I tried to absorb the technology of products which I wanted to manufacture, or reversely, whatever I learned as a employee, I used that knowledge to start my business. So obviously, what I did, I started competing with my employers by developing those kind of products. For example, what I started with was making filters because I had air filters and air conditioning. So I had become already an expert in air conditioning technologies and products. So that is how I came into business. I started those products. I had what I did. I started designing, uh, air conditioning systems. And as Dr. Srinivasan said, that outsource everything. So I started outsourcing everything, especially manufacturing. So I started getting everything. I started making engineering drawings and started getting those components manufactured. Then I started assembling those components at the sites of the customers where I install and commission those. So, and my challenge was every time design a new system. So every order for me was a new product, you know. So what I did is I did not really invest in big machine tools and these kind of things, manufacturing facility. What I started doing is manufacturing. I started outsourcing. I did engineering. So that is the strategy I used for introducing new products and new technologies. So uh, I think that is the way one can go about. Now, for example, if there are hundreds of products which we are importing from China now, not 100, I think it is in lakhs. And some of those products are really low value items. For example, if you are importing a motor costing 10,000 rupees, my logic is simple. Why should you import that motor? You can make that motor in India, with a small money. For example, I can, for a 10,000 rupees motor, you can invest 20,000, get components made, understand the technology of the motor, and get those components made, and outsource manufacturing of those components, get those components, assemble them together, and make that product. In this fashion, I have made number of products. I have made about 100 products like this, which are of small value, which has some engine technological inputs. For example, on my I am Ahmedabad group, I displayed one small aerosol manufacturing making instrument, sometime back. Now, what I did, I took one American competitor's equipment. I opened it up and I saw that, what is the technology, how it is made, and I made components of that. I outsourced those and I made that product here. Now, and I gave an example there that product is being sold for 2 lakh rupees. And when I made it myself and it worked very well, you'll be surprised that I made it in 30,000 rupees. So how much profit is there? I can easily sell that product for 2 lakh rupees. And it cost me only 30,000 rupees to manufacture it in India. I tell you, hundreds and thousands of products like this, which we can make, and you can, from China, you're taking so many products, and this is what China has done. These Americans and Europeans, they charge huge profit. If they make for the first time a new product or a new technology for 30,000 rupees, they sell it for 30 lakh rupees. And that is one thing. Second thing I have observed that all the new products and new technologies, they come through defense. To give you an example, jet engine. Jet engine was first made for fighter aircrafts in Second World War by Germany as well as by Rolls-Royce. They copied each other's drawings and technology, this thing, and they made it. But jet engine then afterwards was used for airliners, and it had a big business. And you will find that so many other products which came through defense. Yeah? For example, nuclear power. It came from what? It came from defense. First bomb was made, not nuclear reactor for making power. They made bomb first. Similar, you'll find cell phones. They came from military, military application. Solar cells, they came from military applications. So what what our Modi Saab is doing, that Atmanirbhar in defense. Because if you are Atmanirbhar in defense, you will get products, new technologies and new products, which will make waves, and which then can have an application in other areas. Now, for example, these iron batteries, these also came from defense. Now they are being used in EVs and automobiles, and Musk has made a big money on that. So it is very, very important to have a strong defense industry in any country for development, because that is the place from where you will get your new technologies and new products. Another example is robotics. Robotics also has come from defense. It first came, for removing mines and all the dangerous jobs. Yeah. And you see, defense is where you can pay, huge money for development as well as for new technologies and products, and then think of other applications in other areas, and then get volumes. For example, cell phone, when it came, the first cell phone cost was something like 1 lakh rupee, 1,12,000. Defense could afford it, but today the same cell phone costs 20,000 rupees. And you will find that in almost every field. You will find it in nuclear energy, in automobile, in jet engines, and so on. So that is one way of going about of making new products and new technologies. Another thing is, India has about 16% population of the humanity, and I feel that India should go for making all the products. So there is a potential for making hundreds and lakhs of new products. And I feel that this is an opportunity for seniors like us. We have some money, we have a lot of experience, and each of us has something, in him, which you can contribute for making new products. And especially those who are from technical backgrounds. For example, those from IITs and this thing, after retirements, they can spend some time in new technology, new products. And I'm quite sure that there is so much opportunity for selling these new products. You can sell drawings. There will be so many buyers for this. And I think the whole country should wake up, and there is a big potential here. There is hundreds and thousands of retired engineers who can really make new products here, and boost the economy in a big way. And that is what I have to say on this. And if you have any further discussion or questions on this, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much.
That was interesting, Dr. Lal Singh. I think as Professor Krishna Kumar was saying, that we'll have the question and answers later.
Yeah.
So maybe we can now move on to, do we have Mr. S.K. Jain from IIT Roorkee, 1969? And if not, then Mr. Shravan Kumar.
Mr. Shravan Kumar is already done, I think. Shubir.
Acha, in place of Mr. Shravan Kumar, Subir.
Probably Sheshatri Rajaraman can proceed.
Okay, okay. Then we can request Rajaram ji to come over.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am Ahmedabad PGP 77, and I have been. I am still working as a managing director of Erhard and Leimer India Private Limited, which is a German company. And I set up this company originally as a joint venture in 1978. And I have continued with this company for the last 42 years or 43 years. I think probably this is record for an IIM Ahmedabad student. Okay. And now the company we started in 81 commercial production in India, and with 10 people with 30 lakhs turnover, and today we are a 120 crore company with around 270 people operating in niche markets. I'm just giving this, although I was not an entrepreneur, I was a manager entrepreneur, because my German guys, they used to come here maybe twice a year. They used to visit us, and I had to report everything by snail, by letters, and then I had to then by email. And so I was more or less acting like as an entrepreneur here, with my decisions were more or less uh, thankfully accepted by them, and they are so I have been able to achieve some success for them on their behalf. But now, last few years, my sons have started. They have started a business of their own for solar equipments, and so my son Naveen Rajaram is already here. You can see him. He is the managing director of that company, and this is they are making solar products, and but it's a startup company, you can say, and all this thing. But they had a legacy of having taking over a company within the family manufacturing unit. So they didn't have so they started with a burden of manufacturing already, and they didn't have the luxury of like the Tavre deciding to have outsourcing everything. So I have been always having, as an advisor on the board of my son's company, I am advising them to outsource more. But in outsourcing, of course, there are a lot of issues. Our supply chain in India is very poor. The skills available in the supply chain is not to the mark, up to even a good standard. So it is always difficult to outsource everything and be able to develop a component in quick time and in good quality. Although I think Tavre is lucky in that aspect that Pune has a very good supply chain ecosystem because of a history of automobile manufacturing, automobile ancillaries. So having said that, there are a couple of points I would like to take and then hand over the floor to my son, because he is the real advisor to the entrepreneur right now. Subir talked about instinct and mistakes which can happen, and he said mistakes are costly. I do agree, but if you really go down if you look at the history of product development, other things, if 10 products are designed and developed, hardly around 2 to 3 products succeed in the market. 7 products don't succeed in the market. So however good an instinct one might have, that is the risk an entrepreneur has to take. And hopefully that he is part of that 30%. His products fall within that 30% of the success. Okay. But the only thing I would advise, with my experience is, because I had to take a lot of decisions in this thing, I always ask myself the question, suppose I go this path and I invest so much money and launch the product and the things. if the product fails, will it shut down the company? Will it close the company? If the answer is no, then I say go ahead and take the risk, pursue your instinct. So that is my only one question I try to ask every time, that when I make a decision, will my decision goes wrong? Will it shut down the company? If the answer is no, please go ahead and take the risk, pursue your instinct. That's my only suggestion I would like to give to all entrepreneurs. The second thing is, yes, I understand the regarding signing a salary check on the 7th. My son goes through that stress and tension because he's still very fresh into entrepreneurship, hardly 5-6 years old. So he always had stress. And today, actually, it is 7th, and he was trying to write the salary check. So he knows the stress. He will explain it himself. Okay. Then digital marketing. I think this is an issue when I always have discussions with my sons, and the people from manufacturing always have from when they go to the marketing guys, they always feel today the marketing guys, they will always talk of digital marketing. So they really have a difference of opinion. What is the manufacturing guys always ask, what is the return on investment on advertising? You said look at advertising and investment. But then my son always tells me, what is the return on investment? Huh? Because coming from a manufacturing this thing, people always talk of return on investment. And so I think the systems and processes, I think there is no doubt about it. We have to go through proper systems and processes, very, very important. And finally, I think it is always, when we talk of startups, I think there are two kinds of startups. And one kind of startup, the technology startups, they don't make money for years, but they find it much more easier to raise funds because they talk of cash burns. Whereas manufacturing startups, they talk of cash flows, and investors also talk of cash flows. So to get fresh investment into manufacturing is more difficult. Manufacturing startups is more difficult than getting investors coming for investment in technology startups. So this is a real-time problem. There is no solution to it because even banks will say, you want to go for a loan? They'll say, hey, show me your next 2-3 years cash flow. Then we will see whether we can lend money to you. Okay. So it is more difficult to convince investors to invest in a manufacturing startups compared to a technology startup. Because investors see that technology startups can be scaled up much faster than manufacturing startup, which is true. So we have to look at how to address this problem. Okay, I think these were my few words. Now the rest of my time, I will hand it over to my son Naveen Rajaram, who is from who is a MS in technology, that is VLSI from Clemson University, and he has done his management from ISB Hyderabad, and he has worked for about 8 or 10 years. Last 5 years he has been as an entrepreneur. So with this short introduction about my son, Naveen, now you take over and express your views.
Yeah, thank you. So hi everyone, this is Naveen. I currently run a startup called Solar High Tech. We are based out of Bangalore, and our primary line of business is solar renewables, which covers the products of solar water heating as well as solar power solutions. So I'll just give a brief background about our company so that I can then get into what kind of challenges and what kind of sort of daily sort of challenges we face, which then we try to solve through product innovation and things like that. So as Mr. Rajaram said, we obviously came with a legacy. So we set up a sales and marketing company. My brother and I, obviously, our skills are more on the purchase, sales, finance, operations, and marketing side. and the technology by itself is a legacy technology that was there in the family, and it was we had the benefit of having a legacy manufacturing enterprise within the family. So sometime in 2012 is when we decided we would set up a firm to market the solutions, because the manufacturing enterprise by itself did not have any in-house sales and marketing expertise, as a result of which the sales and the revenue growth was not there. So in 2012, we decided that we would be the sales and marketing front for this for solar water heating. Solar water heating obviously is an industry that's been in India for almost 20-25 years. Um, there have been many manufacturers who have come and gone in this industry, and then obviously this industry has been set up by the Ministry of Renewable Energy in India. I mean, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy promotes solar water heating actively, and this many manufacturers have sort of made Bangalore a hub for this industry, because for whatever uh, I don't know if this is historically because Bangalore had a colder environment which sort of helped solar water heating technology or solar thermal technologies to proliferate. But in Bangalore itself, there are more than 100-120 manufacturers of solar water heating systems. So as such, we had the access to a legacy manufacturing enterprise, which we then decided to sort of start associating with as a exclusive distribution partner for. And then we got into retail and primarily retail and commercial sales for these products. Now, sometime in the last 2 years, we decided that we would like to have more control on the operations and the manufacturing of the firm, and that's why we decided to purchase the manufacturing enterprise. And now we have control over both manufacturing, sales, operations, and finance and everything. Essentially, we are now a single firm which does turnkey manufacturing, sales, and marketing of the same solution. So, from that perspective, we are now basically riding the tiger in terms of both the manufacturing side. While sales and marketing by itself is, I would say, a more easier aspect of running a business. Finance operations also are sort of easier to manage in such a business. Now that you take over manufacturing, it becomes more of a day-to-day, more involved sort of business, where you have to manage cash flows, you have to manage productivity, you have to manage operations in manufacturing, you have to manage a lot of different variables come into play. So, of course, product innovation is one of the biggest challenges in that space. So, when we talk of uh, solar water heating and solar power solutions, 70% of our business is retail, and around 20 to 25% or 30% is commercial business, which is, so when you say retail, we are talking of distributors and dealers who are sort of sitting across India in various states, and we have to send domestic and fast moving solutions to these people. So when I think of product innovation, I think of product innovation for different kinds of verticals. So for a retail sort of setup, product innovation is basically has to be driven by a build fast, fail fast mindset. So when I say build fast, fail fast, it is because on a daily basis, your sales and marketing teams in retail get you feedback saying that your product is competing with a different design. It's competing with a different sort of, how do you put it, a different model, which may have certain parameters which you don't. So it's like a mobile phone in some sense, where you have 7 or 8 parameters, and your your product is competing. Suddenly, one fine day, a competitor has launched a new product, and then you have to react to that. So retail product innovation should be agile. It should be done faster. There should be prototypes that should be built very fast, and then you should be in a position to sort of test it out in the market faster. And then you should be in a position to sort of understand whether it's working or not, and then withdraw it or scale it up as the case may be. So retail product innovation is has to be driven by a build fast, fail fast mindset, where the uh, sales and marketing teams are under immense pressure to sort of compete with uh, designs which are not necessarily advanced, but which are essentially playing on customer mindsets of or preferences. So for example, just to take a simple example, if you have a solar water heater, you have 4 or 5 different things going on in it. You have an inner tank, which is whose thickness or material of manufacturer is one of the parameters. You have the look and feel of the tank. You have the frames or the stands or the angles for the tank. Now, you may think all these are just very trivial things, but in the market, these play a big role in convincing customers or confusing customers. So many competitors will probably find ways to confuse customers with who do not have the adequate technical background to sort of make a judgment on whether this product is indeed better or not. So from that perspective, I think you are presented with a unique environment where you have to react to what is happening in the market on a daily basis, and somebody comes to you and says, and yours and sales teams obviously always would come back to manufacturing and say our product is not as great as the competitor's product, because that is the feedback the customer or the dealer has given you. So it may or may not be true, but at the end of the day, you have to take that feedback and then find ways to react to that feedback. It could be a manufacturing reaction, it could be a sales and marketing reaction, it could well be a reaction where you say the claim is false and these are the reasons why our product is better, and then you have to educate the customers and dealers. But then that is not where the buck stops. Sometimes the responsibility comes all the way back to manufacturing, and manufacturing has to find ways to improve its own product. So in that context, I think you will definitely find situations where manufacturing has to develop a different variety of a product and then find ways to prototype it and launch it and test it with customers. And then there is also this challenge in manufacturing that the more varieties or the more the more variations of your product that you make to compete in various market, the more inventory and more storage that you are sort of presented with, where you have to have different material SKUs in stock, different raw materials in stock, because you are now reacting to various different product changes and product innovations that competitors are doing. So you cannot afford to sort of have 100 different varieties of the same product just because you are presented with 100 different options in the market. So it's a thin line. There are times you will think that that you do not necessarily need to go down the product innovation route, but and there are times that you will need to go down that, especially in retail. Now this is a retail context. So there has to be a build fast, fail fast mentality, because if you don't build fast and then if you don't ditch that design and go to the next design, you will never be able to catch up with the market. So I think that mentality in retail is very important. Coming to commercial and industrial, I think the most innovation, I think a gentleman on this call mentioned that defense is one of the biggest reasons why product innovation takes place. Yeah, so I would say that product innovation in commercial and industrial usually happens because customers come to us with very unique set of requirements. So we have been working with various commercial clients. For example, we work with Wipro Foundation in Bangalore. We are working with Embassy, which is a big set of builders. Now with these sort of clients, the requirements are extremely unique. And what we do is that we are able to innovate our own product, which we have not done before, to match these requirements. So from a commercial innovation perspective, I think it's important that you uh, generate as many leads as possible to understand what the market is doing, and then try to quote for these leads. And then if you win some orders, then you have a genuine chance to sort of launch new products or customized solutions for commercial customers. So I think commercial innovation from a vertical perspective has to be driven by requirements. You cannot, I mean, I'm sure you can look at it as a mass market solution, but in commercial innovation, product innovation, the innovation is not something that can be done overnight and can be launched and stuff like that. It has to be driven by a very specific need for a very specific
Naveen,
customer.
I think we need to close down.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Just 2 minutes.
I think we need to limit to
Naveen,
the
1
time.
or 2 minutes. Naveen,
Yeah,
1 or
sure.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure. Okay. So I think I'm more or less done with my point. So I think that there is only two aspects to innovation that I was talking about, which is retail innovation and which is commercial innovation. So retail innovation has to be done fast, and commercial innovation would be driven by customers. So that's all I was trying to say. Thanks.
Thank
Superb.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Naveen.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Shall I now request Bhuvesh to come in? I think he has a presentation to show, and he
Yeah,
has now received the host rights also. Could you check that, Bhuvesh?
yeah, I have received it. Thank you.
Okay.
First of all, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bhuvesh Pasricha. I am from Lucknow, 88 batch. And like most of us here, I also started with
Uvesh was like this in 1987 also. No change whatsoever.
well, sir, either you can say good things never change or anyway. So I, like most of you, I also started my career with a company called Madura Coats, and I worked in the corporate sector for about 10 odd years. Well, the last of the companies I worked with was actually a small sports management company called Radiant Sports. Now, this person, he was a pretty active entrepreneur himself, and he wanted to set up one of the biggest tennis academies in India. So he commissioned me for that job to build and run that academy. Now, during the course of this process, I realized that there was hardly anybody in India who was building tennis courts. In fact, there was only one guy I could find in the whole of India who was building the synthetic tennis courts. So that in the 10 years of my working, I was always not very comfortable working in a, 10, 9 to 6 job, because I have a lot of other interests like photography, wildlife, traveling, and working in a job like that always constrained me from carrying out my other activities. So anyway, so when I did found this idea took seed in my mind that this looks like a nice, good industry to be in because there's hardly any competition there. So as it happened, in a couple of years, I left this person and I started a small company of my own. And we started making I tied up with a South African company called Barrett's and started importing the synthetic material for them. It was a big struggle because getting orders, I had no idea about the technology. I had no idea about how to build them. A lot of construction was involved in this process. Luckily, I found another person who was also entering this field. We tied up with each other. He had a tie-up with an Australian company, one of the leading brands in the world. So they already had a tie-up exclusively for India. So we went in together. Over a course of the next couple of years, we actually became partners. We formed a private limited company and both became directors in that company. And we got a lot of experience in building and laying courts. However, after a few years, Rebound Ace got taken over by California Products, which is an American company, which has DecoTurf and other brands. And they decided for some reason that they do not want to have an exclusive distributor anymore in India. They wanted to open up the market. Now, this was bad news for us because, our monopoly, that's not a monopoly, but, we would certainly be subject to a lot of competition. So then we decided, and largely this was led by me, that let us start manufacturing. What is the big deal about this product? How come we can't do anything about it? So I'll just now put on the present. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we took this brand called Frog. So our aim was to create the first Indian, this is basically a Frog is an acrylic latex product. It is used in all the outdoor courts. If you see the US Open or the Australian Open, that colored surface on which they play tennis is basically the synthetic acrylic. That's what we're talking about. And this is not only used in tennis, it's used in most outdoor sports, basketball, badminton. Whenever you see a colored court, it'll be acrylic latex. So this was our agenda. So I'm just going to take you through, I'm not talking in general terms, I'm just trying to take you through this particular process of how we came up with this brand and this product. So as a lot of people are talking about innovation, new products, our story is not that. Our story is basically building on an existing product and, to be blunt about it, basically copy it. So as Austin Kleon says, all creative work builds on what came before. Nothing is actually completely original. Maybe I'm justifying this, but this is where we started off from. So first thing we did was we took that product, we hired a chemical engineer in Mumbai. We asked him to analyze it. He analyzed it, he did a pretty good job, but he could not give us he told us what the main components of that product were, but about the exact percentages, we really did not have an idea. So that was the first part, capture the data. Based on that data and based on our experience with the product, we came up with a rough formulation of that product. We made that product, tried it out on our own courts and our own customers. We had a lot of mishits, in the sense failed. For 3 years, we kept having failures, although the failures kept reducing, but all that hit we took because we had a warranty or a guarantee to the customer. So whenever the coat went defective, we had to compensate the customer, do it again. So we took a lot of hit in that 2-3 year period, but finally we kept refining the formulation until we arrived at the correct way. We were satisfied. Now this product is as good, if not better, than what we were importing. And that's when we started actually manufacturing. Now, manufacturing of this product is not rocket science. Basically, it's a question of gathering all the chemicals together and mixing them. So we set up a factory in Badshahpur, Gurgaon. It's basically a small mixing unit, which you take all these products and you manufacture them. So the next part, after we had done this, we had now confidence in the product. Then we went about, how to build the credibility of the brand. So it's just start, because the Indian brand, first time the market had seen an Indian brand, how do we build credibility? The best way of building credibility was the International Tennis Federation. They have a classification program. You send their product to them, they test it out, they classify it. At that point of time, there was not a single Indian company which had ITF classification. So we went, that is also a very painful process. Went there, a lot of money to be spent, courier it to Hong Kong to the lab, courier it to London for them. Whole process took 3 months or so and a few lakhs, at least 4-5 lakhs rupees. We got this certification. This was a big boost to us, but this is what we could go with the customer and tell them, look, this is ITF classified. Second thing, of course, we got our process certification, which also helped a long way in convincing the customer. After that, we actually sponsored the surface in Bangalore in one of the Davis Cup matches. We said it cost us about 3 to 4 lakhs to build that, renew that surface. We did it free of cost in return for our logo on the tennis court and testimonials from Zishan. I mean, we didn't pay them, of course, but they were actually genuinely happy. So Zishan Ali, he was the coach of the Indian Davis Cup team that time, and Shiv Prakash Mishra was the captain. Both these guys endorsed our products, which again, wherever we went to the top-notch clubs or tournaments to be held, these guys, endorsements from these guys helped us tremendously. Then after having done that, we had to protect our brand. Now, this is one of the toughest aspects which we found. One is, first of all, we had done straight away trademark the Frog brand. So obviously, but that is one small part of it. The biggest challenge was protecting the formulation, because all our guys who are mixing, basically they're all entrepreneurs by nature. They get your product, they know what it is. They are just going to leave you, start doing this on their own as a cottage industry. So we kind of developed a roundabout method. All the chemicals which we bought used to go to a different warehouse first. They used to be unpacked, repacked in different packing, and codes were given, F1, F2, F3, F4. So actually where the mixing was taking place, nobody had an idea what was going into this. Of course, over the years, 3-4 years, other people have come up, they have developed, perhaps used the same process, but this kept our product formulation intact for the 3-4 years, which helped us establish our brand in the market. Then launch and marketing of the product, this was never a problem for us because we'd already been in the industry for about 10 years, more than 10 years. People trusted us. So if we said this is a good, and plus we were willing to give unlimited, not unlimited, warranty on the products. Any defect takes place, we're always there. So most of the customers, 90% of the customers did not question whether he was giving them Rebound Ace or Frog. As long as it was coming from us, they were happy as long as we were providing the warranty to them. So this was not really a problem for us. So now last part is scaling. Now we have been selling this successfully for at least 3 years. So now we are looking how to, now competition has also come in, increased a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. So now we are thinking of various ways how to be a small company. Do we have the confidence? Do we have the savvy to scale this up? We don't know. We are trying. So, but the steps which are in our minds are basically seek capital, basically beg, borrow, steal money, because we'll need a substantial amount of money if we have to scale up the production and hold stock. Then second idea is to sell to competition. Why not take advantage of the competition? See, they are buying products, either they're importing them or they're buying it from a couple of other manufacturers. So let's target them because our margins will be better if we sell to competition. We don't have to do any implementation. We save on all that. So that is one thought. Of course, next step is export. Now, export markets for us would be generally South Asia, because there is no point trying to sell to Europe or America, because they already have established brands. And but countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Pakistan, Nepal, all these become targets for us. And lastly, what we're going to do is focus on developing accessories. There are a lot of accessories which go into the game codes, like water pushers for cleaning, sponge rollers to absorb the water, the net posts. All these requires not very big time manufacturing capabilities. Since we are already confident that we can manufacture, we are probably going to pursue. In fact, I have developed a couple of products which are going to be tested in the market. If they are successful, we were importing them from China, and what we find, like I think Mr. Shitadri said, that once you start doing it here, you find it's much cheaper. I'm able to produce the same thing at 50% of the cost, if not less. So that's about it. Thank you, people, for listening to me.
That was very good. Thank you, Bhuvesh.
Thank you.
I think I, like most of you, enjoyed listening to each one of you. And I thought if Professor Krishnan Kumar allows me, then I have a couple of questions from each one of you. Shall I start with Subir?
Yeah, Mukesh.
Subir, when I heard you, I was curious to know what is the change that you think you brought in the ecosystem. I'm not really talking about scale. I'm essentially talking about, it could be local, it could be regional, national, doesn't matter. But when you were talking about your one-stop shop, so your business must have brought in something that the other businesses didn't bring. What was that?
Okay. As an entrepreneur, my sense is that you don't necessarily do brilliant developments or brilliant inventions. I think this point was also echoed by other speakers. Mostly, those ideas are already there. You're just doing it better or smarter. For example, today we service at 500 locations across India. Okay, we have 10 offices of our own, and from these hub points, we service all these other 500 locations. Okay, now these are all partners across the country. So these are people in small towns. Let's say Guntur. There is a guy who has the ability to service. We've just outsourced our business to him in Guntur. Similarly in Bareilly, similarly in Cochin, etc. Okay. Now, there's nothing very brilliant or bright about this. This has been done in our industry forever. Everybody knows Guntur mein call karna hai, to aap Google mein jao, you find somebody and you outsource the work to him, pay him the money, he'll do it. Okay. All that we did was just took this idea and made it work very effectively and efficiently. So, for example, one of the things that we've done is we ensure that the payments of these people go out very quickly, because they're small people, right? He gets 500 or 700 rupees from me for doing that call. Okay. Now, his worry is, will I get that or not? Now, 500 rupees doesn't matter too much for him either. Right? But in case, if he sees that money comes in very quickly, promptly, then he says, fine, I have nothing lost. And I get access to some new customers through Eagle. So he says, fine, I'll work with them. Okay. So now we have a whole team which does nothing but manage vendors. Let's say 3 people just manage vendors. So in 500 locations, I needed 500 engineers, right? Instead of that, I've just got 3 vendor management people who ensure that the bills get paid on time. And they're happy, satisfied, there's regular communication with them, etc. Right? So
other similar competitors like yours are not able to do that, right?
Yeah, I don't think they take it that seriously. So everybody, so I know one competitor of ours says, I do 900 locations. He does the same model because nobody can have 900 people. It's like the Uber model. I can just have taxis everywhere, but I don't need to own them.
Right. That's precisely, I think, what I wanted to know, which we learned in our management classes as core competence. And I don't think we need to undermine that to be able to do certain things more efficiently is certainly a big core competence. And that's something that you've certainly been able to bring into the industry, I would say, as an example for others to emulate. Thanks for that. The second point, which I think you raised, was on the outsourcing, and this sort of came up with the other speakers also very quite strongly. That some people said that outsourcing is really a smart idea. Certain people said that no, if the supply chain logistics are not so good, it's better to do it yourself. And I guess there is probably no.
I have one question to Subir.
Subir, okay.
How do you ensure that you have 500 locations? How do you ensure that the quality of service is maintained uniformly according to your standards?
Yeah, see, Rajaram has that concern, on this issue.
because see, we have
promptly brought that out.
Because in our solar business, we also supply to small towns, and one of the main issues is to have local plumbers and local electricians. Okay, see, for you it is an IT kind of a qualified guy, but we have to do the service through not so very highly educated, qualified, but skilled technicians at the plumber level and the electrician level. So we are always concerned, how do we ensure the quality of the work done, quality of service, timeliness of service. So these are the issues when you are having at remote locations.
I'll first give you an example of where we failed very miserably. Okay. in this, where quality suffered and, we almost lost a very important customer. There is this place called Balasore in Odisha.
Yeah.
From Bhubaneswar itself is a few hundred kilometers away.
Yes, yes.
So there was a retail store where we had to deliver the service. Okay. So we have an outsourced engineer there. Now this guy was outsourced that call and he went. The customer said, hey, this guy had come to repair my electrical work 3 days ago, and today you have sent him for repairing my computer. So do you think that an electrician can repair a computer? And I don't accept it. And we were almost on the verge of losing. This was part of a very large contract. We had a lot of problem. We went back. We had to apologize. We had to tell them, hey, some mistake has happened and all that kind of thing. But that guy was qualified. He had done a computer course. We got his certificate, sent it to the customer, say, look, we have done our due diligence. It's a different matter that he also repairs electrical equipment, but he does this work. So we could somehow manage to save. The lesson we learned from this was, and the corrective plan we put into place was, now all these 500 locations, we have the name of the engineer, his qualification, and also how much experience he has, and his Aadhaar card, etc. We have done all that documentation. So there is only so much quality control that you can do, because if you do too much quality control, then the cost becomes similar to you're employing 500 people. Okay, but what we have learned is that if you put in serious effort and go through the paces of doing the QC, then you can manage to reach about 89, 98, 99% you can. There will always be that 1% where there will be that risk. But my sense is that we have to invest a lot in project management.
Yeah.
So the success depends on how good your project manager is. So if the project manager takes it easy and says, all right, I just sent some person and I don't care, let it go, then you'll suffer. If the project manager is very meticulous and says, no, I want to be very sure the right person is going, and takes just that little extra pain, you can get away with this. Overall, I would say that if you were to do a trade-off between whether I should outsource at all or not, my sense is that overwhelmingly, my weight would be towards saying that the advantages of outsourcing far outweigh the losses that you may have. And I feel that we have to also invest a lot in vendor development. You got to train them, etc. You got to run them through regular communication, etc. You need to invest time in that. So we should not feel that you just get away scot-free. All I'm saying is that you still end up with 10% of the cost of employing 500 people, You should not try to think that we'll end up with 1 or 2 or 3%. So that's how I would like to put it.
I just would like to, just would like to add 20 seconds. I would like to add one thing. So what we are trying to do, because our kind of servicing involves plumbers and electricians. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to do a live installation at the factory, capture it on the video, and then send it to all these plumbers on a step-by-step installation procedure.
That's
And
the training
how
part.
to test at the end. So we are now looking at sending videos for every kind of different kinds of installation, and sharing it with the plumbers and electricians. So
Sure.
that way, because everybody has a mobile phone today, so it is
Yeah,
much
yeah.
easier to do that way. See, and we don't like to do it on YouTube or something, because everybody may not have access to the net and have a look at the video. Better to send it as a video in the mobile. So this is what we are trying to do. Just
Right.
You know, there's one more thing that we do, Rajaram, if this helps in some way. Mukesh, I'll just take a minute to add to this point of Rajaram, that we have our base hubs at all major locations like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Guwahati, etc. So we have all the skilled people there. So let's say if any call does go bad, we immediately fly that person, or send him by taxi, or whatever cost is required to be incurred, we take that, because that's only 1 in 100. Right? So that way, so we do have fallback. So it's not as if we have outsourced completely. We can take control whenever the need arises.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to Lal Singh ji?
Yeah, Buli, tell me.
Yeah, your whole idea of this new product development at a much cheaper cost and picking up products which are new into the market. They may not be new to the world, but they may be new to India, or new to a particular region, or a new to particular market.
Yes.
And then do a kind of reverse engineering and see what kind of robotics applications, etc., could be done in order to make the products cheaper, is certainly very critical and important, because China also says that they also did not get into something which is radically new. They've also done for all the last several decades smart copying, and that's also certainly called as innovation. But if that's the case, I was curious to know from you, while you were doing all this reverse engineering, what is it that facilitated you to do that? Was there any government grant? Was there something, relationships that you built on? Did you get into some kind of an incubator, or you had some linkages with certain kinds of labs which you could get access to? So was the ecosystem supportive to you, or this was all a big struggle for you?
No, you see, basically, I dependent on my own abilities, my own experience. Now I assess whether I will be able to do that, and whether it is within my means. Only then I put my hands on it, and I picked up products which I thought that I could outsource. I knew people who can do that and things like that. Now, for example, hello, can you see me, hear me?
Yes.
See me? Yes. You see, basically, now, for example, that aerosol generator had one nozzle, and it had a very small hole, For example, it had a hole of 0.06 mm diameter. Now, if you see, how to make that hole, that was a challenge, So I was trying to figure it out how to do that. So I took a lot of research work I did on the net, and then I found that maybe it can be done by wire cutting process.
Yes.
And then I started looking for people who are doing wire cutting. Then I did survey with about 5 to 6 people who can do that hole. And then a lot of people said, no, we can't do that. And then one customer, one person said, yes, I'll try it out. I have a wire. You require a wire of that diameter, that is 0.06 mm, And that fellow says, no, I don't have that, but I had a little higher diameter. My smallest one, his smallest one was bigger than what I required. But then I said, okay, let me try it out. And I did that and
0.6 or
tried out. And then
0.06
beg your
mm?
pardon?
You said 0.6 mm or 0.06 mm?
No, it is 0.06 mm. Yeah.
Micron.
So I took a risk and I did the research myself, and I got the process from him, and I got that component manufactured, and I then tested that equipment, and it was successful. So what I do is I do my own assessment whether I am able to do that job. See, the real thing in this was I figured out how the process for making that particular component, which maybe so many others tried and they could not, do that. So this is how I go about it. So I put my hands where I think I can get them done from the resources available in India, And for example, I'm making one plug fan, just now. Now that is a new concept in India, and there are very few manufacturers. All foreigners are manufacturing this. There are no Indian manufacturers for that. Now, for example, there are two Germans who have put up a plant in India to manufacture that, and they are importing components. Sometimes I also import components from Europe, and other components I get them manufactured here, and I make the product. I have done this, and now I got enough experience. I have done about 10 product like this. And I think if what I can do, almost everybody else can do if he puts in his. See, main input is finance, money, and brain work, engineering work. And I think there are so many other. I'm to tell you, introduce myself. I'm a IIT Kharagpur graduate, and I am Ahmedabad MBA. And after that, I have worked with a company called Alpha Laval.
Yeah.
Then I spent about 16 years in that company in various departments. And to tell you frankly, it was my strategy to work in different departments in that company. I worked in quality, I worked in R&D, I was a divisional head, then I became a vice president, and then I resigned from that company, and I planned it quite well, with a aim that I would start my small manufacturing unit and it is my hobby. What I have a factory, I call it a hobby workshop, really speaking, And
I think
I indulge in lot of,
one question.
There's a question.
One question.
Yeah.
You said you are doing it as a hobby,
Yeah.
but do you run it on profit or a not-for-profit organization?
So far,
because
I am in
here
profit.
we are talking to young entrepreneurs who want to make some money here. Huh?
Yes, see, I'm not making big money, just like Ambani's and others. But
nobody wants. Nobody. But you have business goals of return on investment and profit goals and all that, isn't it?
No, I don't go that formally. I do not go that formally with targeting, yearly sales targets and profit targets and things like that. I am not so formal, but I am doing quite well. Okay. And to tell you, I am putting up another plant in a place called Kolhapur. A small factory that is. Yeah.
You are saying that मेरे कुछ goal नहीं है. Now you are setting up a new factory. I think you are a chupa Rustam यार.
No. I don't have big.
That's also
big
his hobby
plans
to
like
set up another
Ambani's and
factory.
Yeah.
But there is a question from Saurabh Sharma to Lal Singh ji. And he says that I have heard that in India there are a lot of quality issues and we can't even manufacture the beautifully polished steel nail cutters, which we import from Korea. Is this perception true?
I like to share one small story. You see, I manufacture in a product called air curtains, And I was happy with that products in India till the Chinese came, and we were selling some good number of air curtains in India till the Chinese came. The Chinese cut the prices by 30,000, by 30% lower than our, it was even lower than our manufacturing cost. So we lost the market and we stopped that product. You'll be surprised that during last 2 years, I have again started getting orders. The Chinese are going down because the quality of Chinese products was lower.
Okay.
And the life of the air curtains of Chinese make was much lower, and that was realized by Indian market, and they have come back to people like us. And again, we have Chinese are out of the market of air curtain markets now. The number of imports, air curtains imported from China has gone down. So I think that that will happen to many other products. Now today the automobile industry is suffering because of the chips that are not getting that we are not getting from China because of this Doklam, I mean Ladakh problem, and I think now some people will start manufacturing chips in India also. Actually in India, the chip manufacturing plant was put by government of India under semiconductors. There was a semiconductors factory in Chandigarh, in Hyderabad, and in Pune to manufacture much before the others came. But the cost of manufacturing was high in India, and so these three factories did not survive. But
Right.
today we are importing a lot of chips from Taiwan and China.
Nalsingh, I
we'll have
think
to
move on
Okay.
to the next speaker now. That was splendid. What I really got from you was that
Mukesh,
you, yes, sir.
Professor Vidya Sahai, director of IMJ, was invited to launch our book at 12:30. So,
Okay.
if you permit, we'll have a short break
Sure.
and show what is that book which is going to launch, and then he will launch the book. Eh? So,
Fair
if you
enough.
don't mind, a short break for that purpose.
Sure, sir.
Eh? Just one. Professor Vidya, can you be online? Can you put that?
I still don't
video
find him
enterprise
around.
entrepreneurship?
I don't see anybody, Vidya. It's not there.
No, I
Vidya
still
Sahai?
don't see him.
Mukesh, while we wait, can I just make an observation about
Hi,
having
Jyoti,
watched
welcome.
Subir
Please,
for the
please.
last 20 years?
Yeah. Why are you not on the camera?
Hold on, I'll try and get camera on.
Yeah.
Okay, here on camera. So I think one quality which Subir did not mention, and I have seen him over the last 20 years, I feel one of his key reasons for success is he is persistent in anything that he takes up, and relentless to try and achieve that goal. And I think that's what really has helped him. I mean, Subir, I'm saying this on your behalf as an outside person who's watched you do your business, to not give up and not just be persistent, but be relentless to carry on and on and on till they find a solution is what has helped a firm like him, stay afloat and do well and continue to find solutions. So that's something as an entrepreneur I've admired in Subir. I'm sure the others have done the same, but I thought this is a quality that we must talk about, which has been reflected very well. And for a firm like his to survive 30 years, kudos is all I can say.
Yeah, I think you brought a very pertinent point, and I think this is very critical also in terms of tenacity. And here I want to bring in Mr. Rajaram because he has really a long experience, and he also did talk about the intuitiveness and managing by the ear or playing by the ear rather than going in a very straight, structured, linear fashion of progressing. He has also the passed on or helped his son to get onto to a new business. Now, the question which I think links up between what Sanjoy said and also what Rajaramji did was it, he made a statement. He said that whenever I take a risk, I always ask myself whether this could lead to a complete fiasco and closure of the factory. Right, Rajaramji?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, is there something that you did wrong despite the fact that it was intuitive on your part and you felt that this was right? You did
Yes.
take your, your due diligence, and yet you failed.
Yeah, I can answer that question. I'll give you one example. In the year 1999, we were a 10 crore company. Now we are a 120 crore company. But the complexity of our operations was quite high. We had almost 60 different products, around 300, 400 variants of the products, 10,000 items on inventory. And we were not able to quote deliveries to the customer. And then we were going crazy. And I tried all the things. I did some Six Sigma projects on delivery and all that you learn in the management schools. I tried everything. But then I came to the conclusion that I have to implement an ERP system. So now we found that I looked at all the ERP systems. I studied Gartner report and all that. And we had at that time 3 or 4 good ERP systems, internationally acclaimed ERP systems like SAP, BAN, and some other 3 systems. And so did my due diligence and decided to go for SAP system, and which was costing about uh, almost 1.5 crore for implementation, some 10 or 15 licenses. Okay, at that point of time. Now I was a 10 crore company. I had to make a decision to spend about 1 to 1.5 crore on a computer system and throughout my ORG software. Okay. So then I had to go to the board. I took my due diligence. I said, if at all I go for SAP system, not anything less. For a 10 crore company to go for SAP system in 1999, it was unheard of, because SAP was meant for big companies and it was not meant for small companies. So when I went to the board, first I had made my due diligence, and normally at that point of time we were doing a capital investment of 1 crore per year on an average. So I made a decision that I will go for SAP, and in that year I will not make any other capital investment. Okay, because this was what was required for the company to scale up my operations. Okay, then I went to the board. So one of the directors was a US return guy. At that time, it was a joint venture with Indian partners. So who was 20 or 25 years younger to me, he came to me. He showed me in the board meeting. He showed me the Gartner report and said 70% of the ERP systems are failing at that point of time. They failed, including SAP systems. They were not successful implementation. So he said, how do you make this decision when 70% of the ERP systems are failing? So I told the board members, look, when I start a project, I am not looking to be a part of that 70%. I am looking to be a part of the remaining 30% who are successful. Otherwise, I don't go into a project. And I also told them, I have done my due diligence. Even if the project fails, the company is not going to close down. If the project succeeds, then we are going to reap benefits for the next 50 years, because I am going to be able to scale up my operations. I am going to improve my operations without increasing my people in the back office, because with the ERP system, you are able to scale up your operations without corresponding increase in the overheads in your increasing manpower in your back office. And everybody is working with the same data. So there is no interdepartmental conflicts. So we are working with live data. Everybody is working with live data, same data, and it improved my coordination. I could make better commitment to my customers. So I had done my due diligence, but this question I definitely asked. How can a 10 crore company make a 1 to 1.5 crore investment in an IT system in the year 1999? So I took the decision based on this single question, which I answered to myself. And
that doesn't seem to be a failure. That seems to be actually success.
No, it was a success. That is why, because
my question to you was, did you take any intuitive decision which led to a failure, which you regret?
we had implemented, developed some new products, one or two new products. But halfway through the development, I found that even if this product succeeds, it will kill one of my other fast-selling products, which was selling by itself. So after spending almost, I'm talking about again in the 90s, 25-30 lakhs of rupees, I dropped the project. So because I did not realize that till I was halfway through the project that it would kill my other, and I was almost at the success of this new product. But then it struck me, hey, this product is going to kill one of my more successful products, and for which I don't have to make any sales effort. So I killed this product, new development. It happens.
Saurabh has a question from you. He says, Mr. Rajaraman, there is some background noise with coming from somewhere. If you can kindly mute it.
Mukesh.
Yes, sir.
Mukesh, Dr. Vidya will go away.
But you told me that he was not there that time.
Oh,
so
no, he went out for a while and he checked in again.
Please. We did look for him, but he wasn't available that time.
Vidya, can you come to a screen?
Please.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Vidya, would you like to know about the product you are going to launch?
I don't know anything about what you asked me, and I'm here.
Yes. Vidya, just 1 minute. I'll not speak. I'll just show a short presentation which will give you about the product that, within quotes, product, which we are trying to launch. And maybe it is useful, not the content part I am going to impress, but the way we can change the course material that we are giving to our students. And that can bring dramatic changes in the cost and environment impact. And therefore, I just want to make a very short presentation. Very short means, Krishna Kumar's very short means what? So can you switch on the video? Enterprise? Yes. And now I'll keep quiet.
Said that he was going to watch a play.
There is somewhere a background noise coming in. I'll urge you to please mute. Okay.
BJP chairman in 1989, I had managed threefold rise in PGP from 35 to 105 in 5 months flat from February to June. When I joined IMK as director on 27th February 2004, last batch of single section in PGP with 54 students was passing out on March 27, 2004. The year I completed my tenure, 26th February 2009, the first batch of 305 students was entering in June 2009, a 5-fold rise from 60 in 2002 to 300 in the year 2009. I found a company coming in net profit for the first time in its salvageable year. I've never seen such phenomena in literature during my studies from 1975 to 1979 at IMA, nor as a faculty member during 25 years of my stay at IIM Lucknow. and others. It was all due to the first-hand field experience-based learning. I thought of bringing this into literature to impress upon how Indian context differs from Western one and the need for bringing this to literature for SM education. Thus began my journey as entrepreneur. Coronavirus pandemic changed the world order. West could not cope with challenge as well as India did. My conviction became stronger further that India needs a different modified model and literature for management education, combining learning from the West and supplementing with its own experience-based literature. Business and economy was going down, leading to threat of large-scale unemployment. The idea of developing jobs for masses through making of samosas and pakoras became talking point. I wondered whether even this was easy. So I thought of experimenting with creation of a dhaba itself, myself, on December 1st, 2020. I learned cooking idlis, dhoklas, dhokas, and parathas, plain aloo paratha, paneer paratha, onion paratha, red chili paratha, and green chili paratha. Gentlemen, you remember I had been giving you no land, A4 size resources, sacrificed for the purpose. One copy of Business Policy 1, and I myself designed a dhaba in 1989 and created it over to in the balcony of 6 feet by 8 feet now. And A, B, launched D, E, F, G, H. 20 days prior on December 20th, 2020, by text one address. Underway, our understanding strategic management has, in simple manner, distinct focus on strategic implementation items. Was 300 pages minimum. One, I've been online survey items, ebook form, paperback, and second-hand hardbound. Costing, organizing, and 300 significant package, and several topics package. Conducting FDPs and alumni. A4 size. So far survived 3 months on A4 size. 10 events weighs on 750 grams to and Xeroxing cost upper to one. This one is 7, but the new event, innovative, and that led to efforts for this.
Are able to hear me?
Yes.
Move. We आगे बढ़ो. Just a minute. The first experiment was the textbook which I had written, which was 300 pages, was available online in e-format, paperback, and hardbound, costing rupees 300, 350 plus postage and 450 plus postage. If the same book was xeroxed and given as if A4 size course material, that we do even today as a course material in IIM. This is the kind of bound volumes that we give A4 size. It weighs 750 grams, and it costs 300 rupees Xeroxing cost. Then we reduce this to A4 by 2. इसके साथ में कर दो. This half of A4 size. If this size is reduced to half, the weight comes to 400 grams and the cost comes to 150 grams, 150 rupees. And there is no difference in the readability of the book. You can comfortably read as you read a textbook which is published. Even more interesting is, because it is a spiral bound, अभी अगला मतलब स्लाइड अगला चला गया. This is micro size, then the cost becomes 1/3. That is 100 rupees instead of 300 rupees. Now imagine 40 lakhs rupees Xerox bill for course material in IIM Lucknow in 2009. Even if it was reduced to half, that is A4 by 2, we could have saved 20 lakhs every year, which was more than 5 times the salary of director when I was director at IIM Calicut. And that is the suggestion which I had given in 1992. In 30 years, how much would have been the saving? This would have summed up the entire faculty charge for 2 years. Then we brought what we call nano. This pura bound. This is what we call micro, which means A4 upon 4. And still, it is quite readable. Abhijit, dekho pad sakte ho? Professor Abhijit, who was our dean and currently professor at IIM Lucknow in decision science area, will vouch for whether it is legible and readable.
It is easily readable, sir. Easily.
So, if it is easily readable and it is A4 by 4 and can reduce the cost to 1 by 3, the 40 lakhs becomes 13 lakhs and 20 lakhs saving per year for just IIM Lucknow. And it is quite handy. It's not bulky that you find difficult to carry. To make it even more student friendly, we divided it into 4 parts. Because the entire book you don't read every day or every hour. So if you break into 4 parts, each part becomes even more comfortable. एक दिखा दो. Now this size can comfortably fit in the pocket. Can you see whether it goes in your pocket? What looks, it won't. It does come. So if you have Safari like me and there are 4 pockets, the entire material of business policy, 1 course or SM1 course, you can carry with you in 4 pockets. Now you don't need everything all the time. So in 4 pockets, you can carry the material of 4 different courses in a day. Any day we don't have more than 4 classes, and you are not going to have material from 4 different parts. And thus, you go to the class with material just in your pocket. And this also has an advantage. After every chapter, after every case, there is a blank sheet in which you can take notes. And therefore, the book itself becomes a ready reckoner at 1/3 the cost. And it is quite handy for the students, quite easily cozy to read. You can lie down on your bed. And then we had a very interesting thing, and that is we got a memento as presentation. And when the memento came to us, it was broken. The glass was broken. The frame was in 3 pieces. So we thought how to make a memento which will not break in transit. We made fiberglass, that is a fiber sheet memento, and then it occurred to us, if the conference material can be attached to it, then memento is memento. So we got one Bluetooth speaker with a SD card and USB port, and loaded our entire material on this. This Bluetooth speaker can play the entire material right away. Just play.
Play by TF card.
Chapter 1. Introduction. Nalanda Small Scale Industries Development Corporation was established in the year 1962 to help the development of small scale.
You can increase the volume at your choice. And even more interesting, the SD card, you can take out, because in that SD card, we have a video version. Video version which is readable, and you can listen also simultaneously. So slowly you can read and listen. You can take out that SD card, put it on your mobile, and whether you want to read it or you want to listen it, choice is yours. You can mirror it into to a TV, a smart TV, and read the material and listen it on TV itself. You can put the card, SD card, on your laptop and read as it is. If required, you can print it and read it, the relevant part. Then the SD card can be taken out and you can put the selected cases for the day on website. With website, you can straight away download on multimedia projector in the class and ask the students to download on their mobile. And short cases that I have written, 52, you can finish reading in 15 minutes. And the entire class is having the opportunity to read the case. No excuse that I could not read. You read it then and there. And then all the participants discuss the case for 1 hour, and meaningful discussion emerges. All the points emerge because every student has definitely read the case. If they say, we are sorry, our Wi-Fi is not working, just put your dongle in the classroom and nobody can say, my mobile internet is not working. At the end of it, if the students want, they can download and make a printed copy or whatever format I have given, my mini, macro, or nano version, by merging those files together and making a customized one's own book with his photograph for his children, that I was a student, I am Lucknow or I am Ahmedabad or IIT Roorkee in such and such year, and preserve it as a memento for next generation. You can have this entire thing in one go, and that is the package which is together. Isko jaan nikal the packet. I'll just show you the package, which I'm requesting Professor Vidya Sahai to launch. I wish IIMs take note of it, Management Institute take note of it, because they can dramatically change the cost and type of course material that we can give. इसको खोल दो बस यहाँ से. And this is easily possible to send it by courier. This has memento on the उलट दो, राइट एंगल, नहीं नहीं, उल्टा है. This memento of KK's Dhaba, to which a speaker will be attached, and it's easy. You can change the speaker, you can change the battery of the speaker and change the card at your will. And this, I struggle, Rajaram, I struggled to mount the speaker on the memento. It took 1 or 2 months to mount the speaker on the memento. But finally, what we found was extremely simple method. We inserted Velcro and we tightened the speaker on the memento with Velcro. And this speaker now becomes the stand for the memento. You can keep in your table, play as you wish, and if you get bored, you can straight away go to YouTube, listen the music. If you want to see any film, you can see the film, put everything on SD card, mirror it on your TV, and this SD card and this whole memento and this package becomes a tool for your own course material, for others' course material, for customized course material for MDPs, for seeing the film, for playing the music you want, all in one you have in this package. I request Professor Vidya Sahai to kindly launch this thing which we have tried to develop. Is still vendor development problem because you don't get speakers when you want. And if China stops supplying the speaker, it's all futile. So we are developing a speaker so that the Chinese import do not restrict the use of this. So everything that we are trying to build in this is all you can do yourself. No need for buying from anybody else. Students can prepare their own course material. MDP participant can prepare their own course material. And that's what I wanted to say. Now over to Professor Vidya Sahai for launch of this package.
Professor Sahai, you are on mute.
Shut up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, you only see this. I really appreciate Professor Krishna Kumar that at this age also he's trying to launch something, and now he has become a strategic professor of strategic management to a typical marketeer, no? Trying to package a product and trying to sell in his own dhaba. Dhaba foods are always hot, spicy. Just I would like to say one thing that technology is changing very fast and it's everything is real time. So this part I would like to say that Professor Kumar may take note of this, that everything is real time. Whether you talk of books, whether you talk of because nobody wants to carry anything. If you see that when even all alumni are sitting here, when you graduate, you simply throw all your books behind. What that is really unfortunate. But I've seen this thing that many graduates they leave all the books behind, and they just leave. So what we have said that okay, collect all books and keep it in the library. That anybody wants to use it, fine, or donate it to some other school. This thing that only thing I would like to comment here is that technology is changing very fast, and probably in your dhaba you can think of having real-time system also. So I'm happy to be here, and it's nice to see this thing that you are trying to put everything in capsule, as putting in a miniature form. That's really good. I'm sure you must have tested it in some of the school, and you must have got their feedback. So first of all, I really salute your spirit. That's more important than these books and this product. So I really admire your spirit, that what you're doing. And so my only thing is that if you can make it real time, it will be really very interesting. Yes, nobody wants to read now 35 page for 30 page, 40 page Harvard cases. The students, they want in a concise form, but there is a reason for having long, lengthy cases also. And I personally believe that there is no shortcut to life. So it's very good for those students who really want to enjoy more and want to learn quickly. It will be quite useful. So thank you very much. Pleasure to be pleased to be here. Yeah.
Vidya,
Ah.
online thing, I can tell you, it's very interesting. The 35 pages case are
Sir, you are not audible.
35 pages case is not given up. We are condensing 35-page cases into 3 pages to start with. And that's the beauty of this technology. And then with hyperlink, adding on exhibits as required during discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So starting the class with 3 pages. Students read 3 pages, but the whole case is 30 pages, 40 pages. And as and when you want, it's on net. You can go for hyperlink and use this for discussion. So it is navigating between 2 pages to 40 pages as the discussion in the class develops.
Okay.
You can draw. So whole thing is available on website. And at any point of time, Vidya, it's very interesting. If you are, your flight is delayed and you are asked to shift your class to night 2:30, you can go to the class without any material, download this directly on the screen from the net and start conducting the class. And if the students are interested, sir, this point is not clear. You have not read this particular page. Sir, where is this page you have? Because exhibit is not given in that printed copy. So you say, please go to that hyperlink exhibit 1. When you see exhibit 1, the whole discussion in the class may be very different because that exhibit has information that a significant information you did not have to discuss or take decision. Once that significant information comes, the whole decision changes. Then you say, no. What about implementation? Who is going to do it? Then you find there is another exhibit which is hyperlinked. And he said, no, you know how to do it. If necessary, the owner means Gautam Adani can do it. So this is the way I had developed the cases which are directly downloadable and can be merged to make customized book and short navigating between short and long cases. Long cases condensed to short to start with. And then in class, impromptu, you can expand the scope of discussion as interest in the class develops. And this I find was one thing which I must clarify. And second thing which I find I'm even more afraid of what interest will be there. Something which students won't find anywhere. How to teach strategic management musically. For this, I have to learn music. And I'm trying to make video clips so that in 15 video clips, one can sum up the entire SM1 and 2 courses when he's passing out as a graduate of the institute. And whenever he takes a decision, any problem, he refers to that 15 clips and say, my problem is with stakeholder and this particular stakeholder is not convinced and therefore I have to do it. So I'm thinking of a new way how to teach SM musically, making just 15 clips of 3 minutes each as a recap for all that you studied in SM in 2 years. And let's hope I succeed in this. If I'm able to complete 15 clips, 5, 6 I have made, then on 28th of March, I plan to launch that clip on Holy Day. Thank you, Vidya.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Now, I have to roll out parathas because the guests are here. And Unfortunately, Subir is not here, Vineet is not there. But if and when you happen to be in Lucknow, please drop in. Sunday only, Sunday 11 to 1, I make 10 parathas for my guest. These are not open for sale. They are available for guest only. And I can make only 10 parathas. And therefore, one can get only one paratha made by me. If he wants more, he has to get sarkari paratha made by my maidservant. But idli, doka, dokla that I make is available to you as much as you want. Okay. So both the menus are available. Those who visit, those who can't visit, for them only intellectual menu like this is available. Okay. Thanks.
Telling them. Okay. KK,
Okay.
I want to leave the meeting here. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
With your permission, KK.
Yes, it is time. Yes, please carry on.
I just had one suggestion. Now, this micro or nano version of the book would be very, you should contact the education department, and for the school children who are carrying loads of books.
Yes.
I think it is more useful to the school children now because they have to carry the books, so much of books to the school, you see.
Management school is also a school.
Yeah, please talk to the education department of the UP government to start with here. Huh? Okay. Thank you.
All the best. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Thank you, thank you, Subir, for your sharing your experience. It was very useful to me. It was very useful. Thank you, Subir.
Shini.
Yes, sir.
Shini, your
Yeah.
vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to all. It's
you,
my
KK.
pleasure,
Thank
privilege,
you.
and honor to
Yes.
give the vote of thanks. Probably I'll also thank to Sagai sir for joining for the book launch. It's a wonderful event. It's a true event. With I can see a couple of interesting observations from Subir. Shravan Kumar started with a couple of things, because normally we believe in academics too much of analysis leads paralysis, but his belief research is definitely required to do his prospective business, and also collaborating and partnership. Something very interesting. He made a couple of observations, and when you don't have a source, yes, we have to outsource. So that's a great thing coming to the almost every party. Speakers talk about the importance of sourcing, and Mr. Lal Singh Kaure sir made a wonderful observation how we can do customization and how military contributed many innovation parts, and he can able to make. He could identify the problems in a simple manner and create everything Atmanirbhar Bharat. That's also a wonderful, interesting part, plays about the innovation and creativity. Yes, Sheshatri sir also made a contribution in his experience and talks about the importance of return on investment, how we can able to invest. And along with his son, he also made a wonderful observations. Very interestingly, that thanks to Bhuvesh, very unique product, and how to make the product absolute simple and make viable product and marketing with interesting something he made is entrepreneurship journey. I'm sure he can able to do cross selling, multiple selling, and unique the products what he has. But one thing is absolutely interesting, I could able to observe, we are all listening lecture, I can really see the true ambidextrous. He already made 6 parathas, in his daba. Dr. KK sir, one thing I found, maybe is it's at his age 74, I found one thing which is almost I could able to see with everyone, including Mukesh Gulati sir, with everyone. That is commitment, passion. Absolutely nothing can be replaced by hard work. There is no doubt about that leads into conviction and passions. These are all the great qualities of entrepreneur. Even that academician we do have into this. I really thank everyone for joining. This is a great event. KK sir, you are truly inspiration to all. Right? I wish that outcome. We started this week with a great inspiration. That's the one thing I can say. Sunday we started something productive. Everybody joined in a quality time. We started this great week. I'm sure every entrepreneurship journey will convert into short cases. I request everybody could join the hands. If you could able to help us, we can publish in a proper source where it will reach to the academicians. Bhuvesh sir, I'll reach you on your LinkedIn also. right?
Thank you. Thank
These
you so
things should
much.
come into the academia. I really thank Dr. KK sir. Because of him, now I could able to publish 5 textbooks. And these are all only inspiration. That's it. Thanks a lot for joining. I think all good things come to an end. We'll conclude officially the event. Probably if anybody would like to add a couple of points, you are welcome to add. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Krishna Kumarji, and thanks everybody. Great to see some of you after many, many years. I'll take your leave. Thank you so much. Bye.
Professor KK, thank you very much. And I think we look forward to more such events, and I would love to join in your future events also. The one you talked about, the lies in advertising, I think that'd be something very interesting to debate and discuss. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor KK.
Thanks, Mukesh.
Thank you, Mukesh ji. You managed the show fantastic. In fact, you did that today, the role of managing the entire show, managing time. Thank you, sir.
I was enjoying the listening. Thank you.
Hey, thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Mukesh.
Really
Thank
interesting.
See, thanks a lot. You ignited me to do this because I was not having alumni speakers. So at least the alumni of 3 places. Unfortunately, Roorkee, there were 3 alumni. 2 of them are suffering from asthma attack because they're all 73 plus. And one of them, his mobile is not getting signal to join because they also had wonderful experience. You won't believe the first electric clock that you find in railway station was developed by an alumni. And that was a highly successful and absolute failure adventure. And he had so many other things. His failure because he refused to hand over and give it to any foreign party which were interested. He wanted to hand over this R&D products, his R&D products, plenty of R&D products, to domestic manufacturers, and therefore he could not succeed. So, and the first one has lasted for 45 years, and that's amazing. But unfortunately, today with Chinese SIM, he is not able to have signal to contact us. And therefore, he says time has come to enter into SIM business also. Without SIM, how we are going to even continue our discussion? So, a lot of new ideas might crop up to ensure that supply side is not affected because of political animosities among the countries. It is this spirit with which I thought cooperative strategy is as important, as powerful for a huge country like India, rather than just competitive strategy. And once we have combination of it, in cooperation, you have to sacrifice your competitor as a friend. And he has to join you for supporting you when required. It is this I have seen in 91, 92 in Europe, how to compete and cooperate at the same time in the country. And the moment we learn this, we do it, but maximum at family level. People, mothers are sacrificing bread for children. Children are sacrificing many things. So cooperative study requires a sense of sacrifice also. And there I find a big question. The guiding force of business, is it going to be profit making, or what Lal Singh says, meeting the needs of society, either alone or by joining hands with others. So in the pandemic, when I found a large number of people were migrating from Bombay, and a good number of people were serving food, transport, everything to reach home, that was immense cooperation among brothers in India. And so long we believe in that, we are safe. Thank you all for joining, and start thinking of new ways of doing business
not just working for yourself. Because today I am really concerned if I find a car in front of Mr. Mukesh Ambani's house, which could lead to bombs, and the person whose car, who was possessing that car, he dies with 4 hankies on his mouth. Who is safe in the country? This was not his car. And it was in highly secured area of Bombay, in front of Mukesh Ambani. And even Mukesh Ambani is not safe if we talk only of business without bothering for larger society. And that way, Lal Singh, the idea that you gave, we can be happy without growth of GDP. There are many ways of being happy. You don't need tons of money to be happy. You lose a lot of pleasures in life because of tons of money. And once we start realizing, we start drawing a line, not beyond this. And I'm good for something more. I can earn money enough to fend my family. I can fend enough for a guest. And beyond that, there's a lot more I can do for the society, which I might not have been doing. And God gives us opportunity to do so. When we retire, Vineet, after retirement, you have a lot of opportunity to do good things because you have no problem, no bosses to approve your leave. No, you can run round the clock. You can work round the clock. You can rest round the clock. You can do any amount of research. You can do any amount of writing, any amount of nonsensical thing that you wanted to do but could not do.
Well, in that case, I'll bring mine forward by a few years. Looking forward to it.
Thanks. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.